So I reiterate here, the bill is dead.
The story of this great city is about the years before this night. We are great!
Hey, what's up? This is Ho Ho Hong Kong. I am Andy Curtin. Happy New Year, and I've got my old buddy. He's back.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's at Funny Vivek with the letter M for Facebook, without the letter M for Instagram. Vivek Mobani is in the house.
Dude, it is. It's amazing. I'm so happy to see you.
I am so glad.
2021, bringing the good stuff.
You start the year well, right? That's the hope. That's the hope. To make the year start on a good note.
So I'm Andy Curtin. You can find me online at Andy Curtin on anything. Also, we have our Patreon is killing it now. Patreon.com/HoHoPod. There's a link in the description. This is the thing that's going to take us up to another level. So if you want to get on board and check out some awesome bonus apps, we've had tons of really great stuff on there. You can check it out. And when we get to 100 subscribers, we're going to upgrade all of our equipment. And if you think this sounds good now, you just friggin' wait, because we want to make the best show. You want us to keep putting out great content. We're going to do it. So, yeah, jump on Patreon and help us make it happen. One more thing before I forget about it. So I'm running this online challenge that's kind of got turned into a much bigger thing than I'd ever planned. It's called #1weeknomeat.
1 week no meat.
Yeah. So from January 4, so from the day this podcast comes out, we're just getting a bunch of people to encourage them to use the #1weeknomeat, take 7 days off eating meat or eat less meat or whatever.
Can I not have meat after 6 p.m.? It's easier.
As long as you have it by 5 a.m.
Okay, yeah, Ramadan, that stuff.
Yeah, I saw that David Attenborough documentary where they were talking about how like 40% of the world's land is already farmed.
Yeah.
And we just can't eat as much meat as we have. And I thought I wanted to do something about it for the new year. So if you ate too much food over Christmas, New Year's, whatever, just take 7 days off eating meat.
Okay, so
check it out. Don't even need to tell us. Just do it.
Okay, so #1 week no meat.
#1 week no meat.
Go for it.
Awesome. So today I want to talk to you about where the fuck have you been? Where have you been?
Man, 2020 has been a crazy few months for me. I forget when was the last episode I did with you guys, and then I stopped for a while, then we started again. I stopped for a while.
Was it Rebecca or maybe Matrey?
Matrey, I remember we did that. I think Rebecca was after that, and then I had to stop for a long while. So much happened for me in 2020. So long story short, if you had been to one of my shows in 2020, the rare shows that I performed in, you would have heard a whole story about me doing a colonoscopy and stuff like that, and that was just the tip of the iceberg.
Ew. That's the worst.
More like tip of the stethoscope.
When you talk about a colonoscopy, touching the tip is not. Yeah. No, that's not. No, stop. Back up the truck.
Yeah, exactly.
But before we get too far into that, one question that I've been getting a lot lately is, what's like in Hong Kong now? Has everything died down, like politically and stuff like that? And it's one of those things where there's so much news at the moment, and it's also the festive season that people just kind of can't focus on everything, but the government has been ratcheting the hell up on this city, like quite severely. And one big story that happened was the 12 youths. You know about that?
Yeah.
So basically, there were 12 kids that, they say kids, 2 of them were literally underage, 16-year-olds, and then the rest of them, I guess, were very young.
They were technically over 18.
Yeah, technically over 18, but kids. And they tried to go to Taiwan on a boat. The boat was captured because it was, quote unquote, in mainland waters, which mainland waters means water.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
They stake a claim in...
Yeah, any water.
Yeah.
Any island, for
toilet
that matter.
Water in Sweden, that's mainland Chinese
the so-called distilled water, whatever. It's like, we made it. Yeah, it's like, okay, sure.
So the important thing to remember here is these people, what they've been charged with, they weren't fugitives. I think a couple of them faced a charge, but for the most of them, they were just trying to get out. And the charge they've been charged with is crossing a border illegally. That's it. That's all they've done.
It's like literally when you go to a park and says no trespassing, that's what they did.
Yeah. So don't do that because you'll end up in Shenzhen. Yeah. So they've been in Shenzhen. They were in Shenzhen for 4 months. The 16-year-olds in Shenzhen for 4 months.
Yeah.
They've just been released. 16-year-olds are refusing to comment at all about what happened. All of them released a statement saying that they misunderstood the mainland Chinese judicial system, and now they realize how great it is, which is like
case closed. Isn't that correct?
I'm actually reading rereading 1984 at the moment, and it's just straight right out of that. I seriously worry that Orwell just like handed the playbook to China.
Probably someone just translated that book and they were like, this is great.
So what was so freaky about it was there was this one part in the book where the main character is talking about like his job is to delete, rewrite news articles to rewrite what happened, And he's talking about how there's this one moment where he found a piece of evidence that conflicted with what the party was saying.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's the only way that he can know that, because everything else is just his memory, and he can't trust his memory because he's read so many things.
Yeah, he doesn't know which
party,
one
and they keep changing it. He's like, the only way to know the truth, is to believe the party, and this is like the one way he can.
Yeah,
and I think that's how they look at it.
That's
They're
the
like,
system.
we just change the narrative, change all the information that's out there. And
the bizarre thing is that even when the whole COVID-19 thing began, there was actually a meme in Chinese that said "Sun Zhengfu," which means believe the government, because there was an interview on the news in mainland China asking some of the people, "Oh, what do you think about this COVID-19, this Wuhan virus and stuff?" And they were no masks. They were having celebrations Chinese New Year. They were like, "We trust the government. Trust the government." And everyone became a big thing in Hong Kong. I was like, oh, okay, well, trust the government. I guess that's the way to do it. So exactly what you're saying. It's just at some point it's so mixed up that it's like, you know what? Let's just go with whatever this party tells us, and that's the truth.
This party being the only party.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there ain't no party like a communist party, because the communist party is always correct.
Oh, I was going to say don't stop, but yeah.
They don't.
Yeah, they don't. They don't stop at being correct.
Yeah, so anyway, these guys, so the two youths got out, and then the 10 of them, one of them was given 3 years prison. 3 years prison.
Woo.
One was given 2 years prison.
Yeah.
The prison sentences ranged from 7 months to 3 years. And what a bunch of cowards,
I mean, you know what?
I'm of course talking about the people that tried to escape.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this is the lesson they were trying to convey, is that, you know how you're living with your siblings and stuff, and you see that drawer of their stuff, and you're like, I'm going to check out that drawer. Make sure your sibling's not in the Communist Party.
Yeah.
If you do that, you'll be like, uh-oh.
Bro, that's the same thing in 1984.
Yeah.
They're like, everyone hates children because the children are so on board with the party narrative, they just report on their parents.
Exactly. And so you kind of worry, you're like, my own kids just reported on me, but the kids are like, yeah, because the party's correct and you're not.
That's exactly like there's like a page out of the book.
And that's the new generation, right? That's basically the new generation. They're like, oh, we just don't talk about the government. The government's fine.
It's always depressing to me how unwilling my mainland Chinese friends are to even consider that maybe things aren't as they seem.
Exactly, yeah. It's, I guess, conditioned and also fear. I mean, it's kind of like, that if I mention it, I'm running the risk, and life is all right. Things are all right. So the point is that at the end of the day, is like, do you want to still be on your knees and be like, hey, I'm fine with my food and everything while I'm crouching on my knees? Or do you want to be like, I'm going to stand up and walk around? Is this really my world? Am I limited to this stuff? So even with the 12 youth thing, what's bizarre is that the news has been on and off. People know about it. The hashtag Save 12 Youth hashtag has been running strong. The problem, though, is that because it was so muffled in China that they can censor and kind of hide out all the information, that you couldn't get much news about it. You just knew that the youths were captured, but you don't have much information. So what's the status of the cases and stuff like that? You have no idea.
Well, I think they get the message just generally that it's always a rioter.
Exactly,
They're rioting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and that rioting is awful. How could you trash your own city? That's the repetitive.
Exactly.
People, that's not what they're charged with.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean,
if they did that, they would have been charged with it.
Yeah, fair enough. They were just on a boat trying to get out, and okay, sure. In that sense, it was illegal, but it wasn't to the extent it's like, they were causing this trouble to the country. I'm like, okay, let's calm down. They were
help themselves.
Yeah, they were steering right when they should have steered left. Calm down.
So, have you followed the whistleblowers from Wuhan, that whole thing?
Oh, the lady who got 4 years?
Well, there's two of them, right?
Yeah.
There's the doctor
first one
that died,
who passed away.
He's now been championed as a hero of the country, and they're saying how great he is and reforming the system.
Yeah.
And then there's the journalist that did it. And what did she get prison?
4 years.
4 years prison.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the bizarre thing which
they did exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Two of them did the same thing.
The only difference is he was a dude.
And he's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
He's dead. So they can't, there's no risk of him
doing anything more.
disagreeing with the narrative that they've chosen for him.
Exactly.
Because he's
so
dead.
The best way to live if you're going to be in mainland China is be a dead dude.
Yeah. If you want to survive, you just have to be dead. That's
exactly. Yeah, exactly. We'll even take away the dude part. We'll take away the gender. We're like, be male, be female, but be dead.
So what blows me away, though, was because I was just reading on the way here, there were protests on the 1st of January, and they were firing tear gas canisters down Nathan Road.
You know what's bizarre? For the first time, when you told me that just now before we started this, I was like, really?
I'm like, how are people doing it? You know? I mean, it's... My only concern about that...
I guess we didn't have the fireworks, so the pollution had to come from somewhere.
Yeah. One time, one thing I've noticed in mainland China is they do have this strategy of like, you just cut off anyone that's a problem and you just neutralize them.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's obviously what the SNL is designed to do.
Yeah.
And it's
SNL
like,
is not
that's going to work
Saturday Night
eventually.
Live,
Eventually, people are like 2 million people are not going to protest anymore.
Yeah.
They're not going to risk it.
Yeah. Number one,
way.
that. Yeah.
That'll never happen again.
Yeah. And also because then... And now with the national security law, they could actually charge it. Oh, you said SNL. Sorry, NSL. I was like,
Did I say SNL?
Yeah, I was like
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I was like, my brain was like still clear. I'm like, what is SNL? I'm like, oh, NSL.
Bro,
like,
I've been up all night with my kid. I haven't slept. I'm like,
subconsciously, you think this is a joke, don't you think? The NSL, it's SNL to me.
You know those sketches from the Chinese government.
We're gonna say these kids were trying to destroy the country. That's the sketch.
My favorite season of Chinese tyranny was the Eddie Murphy season.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my god. All right. Okay. So I think this is the bizarre part of the whole New Year's thing. So what I'm saying is like this New Year's, I've actually kind of stopped myself from reading the news and following it too much.
I've slowed down a lot. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why when you told me about the tear gas on the 1st of Jan, I was a bit surprised because I literally these last few days have said I'm just going to avoid Facebook. I'm going to avoid news. I did it.
Congrats.
I've been ignorant. And you know what? I understand why mainland Chinese people are happy now. I was like,
turns out if you don't, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, because I was like, everything's good. Every Weibo didn't tell me anything, so this is life. I'm getting used to it.
Are you on Weibo?
No, I'm not. I'm not
Yeah,
Weibo. Yeah, no, not happening.
Weibo, I don't know.
It's just a different game. Like,
I did it for a while, but I was just like, wait. So if you don't know, Weibo is like Chinese Twitter, and it's massive.
Yeah.
By the way, some of our friends are like blowing up. You know, like Nora Young. Nora, the comedian
Nora
from
Jones.
Shanghai.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, she was just in Marie Claire, China. She's
really?
she's like legitimately blowing up right now.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Some of we had a couple of the people that used to do open mic at Kung Fu Comedy did a show in Shanghai. They sold 19,000 tickets in 2 minutes.
What?
It's blowing up.
Man, people must be really bored, or these guys are really good.
They really cut me out of some money there.
Yeah, you're like, remember me? Remember those years?
But the other guy, Jesse Appel, who is...
Jesse Appel, he speaks Mandarin. I've seen him all over the place.
So Jesse and I were kind of like the two guys doing Mandarin stand-up, and I quit because I was like, they're never going to let a white guy get famous. Yeah. And then he
did it.
He's up against walls, everything he does.
Really? Because I've been seeing a lot of...
He couldn't get... So to get back into China, because he went back to the US.
Oh, okay.
And to get back in, they needed to give him a letter.
Oh, okay.
Like just an invitation letter.
Yeah.
And all these people were like, oh, because he's also, incidentally, he's blowing up on Chinese TikTok.
Yeah.
Which is just his own work, doing really well.
Yeah.
And he's contacting all of these people he's worked with for years. He's like, can you just write me a letter to say I'm going to come and perform? And none of them would give it to him.
Wow, they don't want to get anywhere close or involved in this. Like, I don't want to run this risk.
I don't even want to be involved in inviting a foreigner.
Wow,
they're just like crazy. we don't know. We don't even want to look into it. We don't know what it's going to.
I guess I understand. Like to them, they're like, this is unnecessary work for me, unnecessary risk as well. Like,
no, it's not work, dude. It's a letter. He could literally send him the template of.
But I mean, you're basically opening up a possible can of worms, right? By doing that, you're like, you know what?
But he's so safe, you know.
Yeah,
he's been pretty well known.
I guess if he was pulling 19,000 people, then maybe they'd be like, yeah, I'll write you a dear Jesse.
Well, they're also not on the hook for any other shows that he applies to do there.
Yeah, true.
Anyway,
because the thing is,
the significance is that he's a foreigner. That's it. It's not that he's done anything wrong.
Yeah, it's just extra hassle.
Yeah,
unless you're Dashan, then you're the right foreigner.
Well, he's lying low. He's not doing anything at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I've seen.
And he's been pretty adept over the last 3 decades of navigating that stuff. You know, for example, like when China had a big blow up with Canada.
Yeah.
Canadians, you know, when the Chinese government has a blow up with another government, they start just all these stories come out about those people in the country, and people start to not liking people from that country temporarily.
Yeah.
Again, super 1984.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, it's exactly what they do in 1984. They're like, the people from East Asia, we hate them now.
Really? Now, interesting.
Have you seen this? Have you read it? There's this scene in it
way back.
where the guy's like yelling at, I think, East Asia, and then mid-sentence they change who they're fighting, and he just, without even breaking syntax, mid-sentence changes who the enemy and who the ally is.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to remember.
And the people just cheer like,
we hate him now.
They don't even remember that it was different a minute ago.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, actually. That probably will happen easily anywhere.
I can't, I'm not, it's not, I don't want to be critical of Chinese people. They're it's a human experiment that no other country is undergoing at that scale.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I mean, for me, if anything, I actually look at Hong Kong more like Animal Farm than 1984 at the moment.
Interesting.
With Animal Farm, what you find is that it's the whole overthrow of the humans.
Because there's pigs everywhere, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. And we all love that pig soup. So with the Animal Farm is that basically they overthrow they kick out the human owner, and then everybody takes over, and then eventually they need some leadership, and then the pigs kind of become the leaders. And that one phrase that you were all equal, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And I'm like, this is exactly what's happening in Hong Kong. As in, like, we're all Chinese, but we're a little bit more special Chinese than you guys. If you're, let's say, connected with the government, all of a sudden now you get these privileges, you get all this stuff, and it's so adamant now that it's in your face. You can see, for example, with the whole COVID-19 situation, depending on which side of the party you are, or basically who's your friend, all of a sudden now you can get away with, like, murder. Like I said, the logistics and the ship companies, they were getting away with people coming down with no quarantine. I'm like, all that is because it's all rich people connected to the government saying, hey, don't close my business. We need this money. So the government's like, sure, no problem. We'll let them come in. We'll exempt these guys. I'm like, how in logic, who are your advisors that said this is okay?
Yeah, I mean, the analogy, I think, is like lobbyists. I mean, it's different. Like certainly in mainland China, Guanxi, like relationships, like government relationships.
That's big, yeah.
Yeah, and here I just think that, you got these tycoons, man. Like, how much control do these tycoons have?
So much, man. So much.
Just imagine the leverage that they'd have.
Yeah. Oh,
and
absolutely.
But what shocks me is that anyone thought to take that risk.
Yeah.
How bad is it for the city that we're in? I don't know how many months has this been going on?
Because again, it doesn't burn. You're at the top of the food chain that it doesn't burn you until everyone else is burnt, and by the time everyone else is burnt, we have time to get out of it.
Yeah,
like I said, I mean, look at the whole issue that the dance group. That was already a perfect example of.
Okay, so just going back, so we did the episode about it. There was the super ultra wealthy ties with their young like toy boys. Which I'm like, come on, can I earn a little bit of money here?
Exactly. I'm like,
a little bit on the side.
Yeah, exactly. You want to internationalize your little dance crew, don't you?
Dude, stuff like that. I just feel like such an innocent flower,
Yeah,
because it's one child. Like I've been, we looked at that venue.
Yeah.
As a possible location for the riff.
Man, that was a close call, dude.
Imagine how much more successful we'd been if our comedy shows were just old ladies touching up, sucking the nipples of these.
We were all a bunch of young comedians comparatively compared to them, and they would probably fill the rooms up easily by buying all the seats and having no one sit on them because they're like, it's just you and me. You thought it was the one-man show? No, it's the one audience show.
Dancers are good looking.
You're assuming. You're assuming. This is all on newspaper. No one published their faces. No one ran away from a hospital.
You used to see video? There was video.
There was a couple of that. So the funny thing is with this whole thing is that there were a couple of videos. There were actually people who were doing spin-offs, like ads and stuff. Like
I saw that. Can you talk about that? That was awesome. No. I enjoyed that so much.
So Cup Noodles actually basically played off of this idea that there's a dance group in a room doing crazy stuff, and they had this.
It is Instant Noodles. Yeah, they did a whole ad.
It makes no sense. And you got this you got this good-looking guy, buff guy with his top off, and like these clearly 50-year-old ladies like dancing with him, and all of a sudden he just dangles some noodles and like yes. And they're like, mwah, mwah, mwah. And then they look at the camera. I'm like, this is.
But when I looked at that, I thought like that's. To me, that's an ingenuity that I see in Hong Kong and stuff like advertising that I see less of overseas. In mainland China.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, because you're at least sure we can still market a bit to a certain extent. If you did that in mainland China, the authorities would be like, you mocking the party?
You'd never get it out.
Yeah, you'd never get it out.
The self-censorship would kill it before it went anywhere.
Yeah. And even if you did get it out, you'd be in so much more trouble. They'll come after you like, that wasn't worth it.
Yeah, it does crack me up when people like when the self-censorship fails.
Yeah. That came out okay. Who didn't see that one?
Yeah.
I mean, the funny thing is usually the self-censorship will censor things that you're like, that's no big deal, but they won't censor things like, I don't know, putting a black guy in a washing machine that comes out white.
Exactly. No, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Which ironically, I don't know if you know this, but it was originally an Italian ad where the characters reversed.
So he went in white and became black?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Like what, Squid Ink?
But I think, I can't remember why, but maybe the white guy was very dirty and the black guy was very clean. But it was clearly not racist in their version.
Yeah.
And then, but that's what the funniest part about this.
Yeah.
Is not only was it insanely racist, but they also stole it and made it racist.
Yeah. They've ruined it, right?
So it was an ad for washing detergent, I guess.
Yeah, I was washing detergent.
Where they put a white guy. Oh, no.
They put
a black guy who's trying to kiss this girl and she just pushes him into the washing machine, puts in the detergent, and he comes out white. Yeah. And it was like.
And then she's like, yes. I know. I'm like, what?
But even on. Not that it's all, racist. That's funny when the system of self-censorship breaks down.
Yeah.
But another similar one was the Chinese New Year Gala, which is the most watched TV show on
that one.
Earth.
Yeah.
There's something like 800 million people watch this show.
Yeah.
This one show each year.
I remember, yeah.
And it was like, what was it? Zulu dances or something? No, it was blackface. They were in blackface.
Let's just say the soundtrack was, I like big butts and I cannot lie.
I don't know if you're joking.
No, but like it was the blackface and also the big butt thing.
No way.
Yeah, dude.
So you had Chinese people doing blackface. Yeah. I like big butts and I cannot lie.
They were not singing the song, but the person had a overly sized butt.
Ah, right. Okay. Right? Yeah. Anyway, it was like, you're talking about the most watched TV show on earth. It's government run, CCTV. Like, how many people are vetting this? And no one was like, this is going to cause a stir.
And you know why? Because for them, they're like, yeah, this is fine. This is okay. Yeah.
Well,
black people are black. That's what they do, right? That's how they're.
Mate.
So I'll tell you this. I remember I went for a meeting one time for a gig I had to do, and I had to meet. He was the owner of an egg tart franchise in Hong Kong.
So he's loaded.
So he's loaded, right? But usually what I find is that the more loaded that boss is, the more ignorant he or she is when they ask questions. So I remember we were having a meeting with all the other comics to talk about the show and everything, and he actually saw me and he was like, "Oh, you speak Chinese?" The typical like, "Oh, you speak Chinese? That's so very fascinating." And he's like, "Can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah."
Oh boy, already I'm like,
"Here we go, let's do this." He's like, "Why? Is there something in the curry that makes you really muscular?" I'm like, "What? Like, what?
Does he think he's giving a compliment?"
No, because he wasn't actually talking about. He's like, "Yeah, because I see all of you guys working at the construction sites. You're pretty muscular." I'm like, what did you? Yeah, I mean,
I'm not one of them.
Yeah, exactly. Like it doesn't. We don't only work there, dude. Like,
I go to Pure Fitness.
Yeah, exactly. And I still don't buff up. So clearly, I'm at a loss here. The curry powder does not work. I need protein powder. It's very different. So I remember him asking me, and we were all sitting there, and he was serious.
In front of other people,
in front of everyone. Like, yeah, let me ask you this. Is there something in the curry powder?
Who is it? Who else was there?
The other Chinese comics. Daniel was there. Martina was there. I think Tim was also there.
And were they just like staring at the fan?
They were just like, what? Right?
I think like Tim is. I love because Tim
Chan. He's a smart guy, as in like these situations.
Very smart dude.
Yeah, he won't butt in and be like, "Oh, actually, that's not right. You shouldn't."
But he knows what's going on.
Yeah. He was and then I remember at the time I had to be like, maybe the powder doesn't work on me. I don't know. But I was like, did you just ask me that? So what I'm trying to say is that this mentality is okay. Because again, you've got a group of people who live in the world of I see Indian people on TV, I see Indian people on the street, so that's what they are, right? They're all living on flying carpets and stuff like that. Which is one of my other jokes. I've been insulted before. Like, why are you taking this bus? Why don't you take a flying carpet? And I'm like,
someone said that?
Yeah, dude.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. You know what's funny, though? You know what's funny about that? Is that flying carpet is not Indian. They're Arabic. I'm like, dude, you got it wrong.
It's such a deep stretch. Yeah. Like, when was the last time? The last time
Aladdin.
I thought about flying carpet was your bit about it.
Yeah, my bit about Aladdin, right? But this clearly was someone who watched Aladdin. They're like, all right, this makes sense. Brown, hairy, let's do it. At that point, I'm like, I give up.
What were they just trying to pick a fight with you?
No, it's just probably like one of these guys that just didn't seem to like, brown people, I guess. You get that every now and then.
Just straight up racist.
You get, straight up racist. You get it every now and then. Like, for example, let's say you're just standing on the streets, waiting for the red light to turn green. And like this other guy wants to cross with the red light, but you're in his way. And he's like, oh, stupid Indian. Like,
really?
Yeah, you get that every now and then. So for me, I'm like, earphones solves the problem. Otherwise, number two, I'm like, whatever. Material. Just write it down. This is hilarious.
Dude, you have thick skin. Is it the curry powder?
It is the curry powder. Yeah, this particular one, the herb over there,
makes the skin
it's the brown color. It's actually a layer.
I just don't know how you. I would flip out.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
I wouldn't. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
because I guess it also catches you when you're like.
When you're just
not like expecting it, right?
Yeah, I'm not expecting. I just don't know, like, is he talking about me? You know, so it's really bizarre because like you have these guys giving the random comments every now and then, but then you also get the guys who are just like asking you stuff, and you're like, is he just ignorant and I should fix this? Like, is he genuinely just a naive person?
Yeah, what's the correct thing for me to make the world better right now?
Yeah. I don't know. Just don't talk. Like, just don't speak. Like, if you have a curious thing, Google it first. Get on your phone, like, do Indian curry powders help with muscular growth?
Yeah, you just send him that, that link.
The link, just fucking Google it.
I love that, by the way.
That. Yeah. Every time, before I would be like...
You're like, this is not question... Like, it's 2020. These aren't questions... 2021. These aren't questions we ask each other.
Exactly.
We look them up.
Yeah, exactly. You look them up, and if you really can't solve it, then you ask me, and I tell you I can't figure it out because I looked it up.
Like, someone's like, what's the temperature today? I'm like, your phone is in your hand.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right? I'm not the messenger. I'm not the Mr. Google Messenger. You don't see a stamp on my face.
So I do want to get into why, like, everyone's been curious. Where have you been, buddy?
Where in the world has my body been?
Yeah, you started out with the finger up the butt.
Yeah, exactly. So the finger up the butt actually is not the colonoscopy. That's more work.
That's just for body.
The finger up the butt is for fun. It's certain corporate gigs, they require that test. They're like,
been doing the wrong gigs. Who pays who at that event?
Let's just say it's pro bono. And when I say pro bono,
I was going to say pro bono. I'm like, I'm
exactly. Exactly. Someone's winning somewhere. No, so real simple. Actually, what's bizarre is that the whole story began around July last year, 2020. Right. So first of all, 2020 sucked in general. Okay, so starting with COVID and everything just sucked and all that. And what a lot people will find is that they're so used to certain lifestyles that when you suddenly get told stay at home, don't go anywhere, change your life, you don't realize all the reliance you have on, let's say, working out, exercising, running around, all the small things. So in July, after maybe doing some work that was really stressful for myself, whatever, in July, for the first time in my life, I had a period.
I totally forgot about that part of it.
So I went to the toilet one night and I was like feeling really miserable, and then I go to the toilet and I'm like, is that blood or is that beetroot juice? I'm like, no, I didn't have any beetroot.
Because I had a bit about that for years.
Right.
And I don't know if you know this, but I actually was the original story that it was blood for me as well.
There you go. Yeah. So the blood issue right now, as a man, you always live in denial initially. Where you're like, I'll be fine. It's cool. It's just
I'm
blood.
like, you flush it and problem solved.
Whatever. Right. It doesn't matter. Right. So I look at it. I'm like, okay, this maybe I ate something. Whatever. Right. Then I go again that night. I'm like, still blood. I'm like, okay, this is not right. Then I'm like questioning my sexuality, thinking like, wait a second, has it been 28 years? I don't know what's going on. How does this work? Right? So I'm like
I'm leaving that in.
I'm downloading apps and everything. How does menstrual cycle work? So I literally went just fucking Google.com.
Just asking random racist people on the street, hey, why is my butt bleeding?
Exactly. I'm like, did curry powder cause this? I don't know.
Is this an Indian thing?
Yeah, right. I'm asking my relatives, do you bleed blood? Does your blood bleed? So anyway, so I did that. That happened, and then like for the first couple of days, it was blood and everything every now and then. But again, I'm still that guy that doesn't ask for directions. So I'm still the guy going like, I'll be fine, man. I don't need a doctor. I'm fine, right? So after a few days, it kind of stopped, and I was like, hey, see, look at me, right?
Look how strong I am.
Look at how strong I am. I cured myself. I don't need no damn medicine. And then
meanwhile, you've run out of blood.
Exactly, right? I'm exhausted, I'm pale, but I'm like, I'm a man. I don't need no doctor telling me this. Maybe it's just a lack of sunshine. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a dude thing, but there's this, personally, a huge reluctance to take stuff seriously.
Yeah.
Like medical.
Yeah, especially
symptoms.
medical, right? Like, I think it's a matter of like, I can deal with this myself. Or life, yeah. I mean, we have the inability to ask. Now, like, one of my weaknesses is asking for directions. Ordering food on the phone, I hate that.
You can't order on the phone?
I just feel really weird. Like, I should know better. Like, I should know all this stuff. Because what will happen is I can order the food unless I have to ask a question like, does this come with rice? Then I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to assume it comes with rice.
I'm not going to eat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is what I tell people. I have these really weird phobias where I'm like, I don't want to ask a question. If I'm in a store, I'll buy all the products, go home, figure out, and find out it doesn't work, and then try to return it. Then just say, does this fit
That's hilarious. Is this connected to your bit on the bus where you don't
with the minibus thing, same thing, yeah. So same, I have the fear of saying, the fear of I don't want to be the one who asks a question like you don't know. And I'm like, oh no, I do. I just want to confirm. I don't know, right?
I want to see if you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you know? Yeah, you work here, right?
This is a test. I'm a restaurant critic.
Exactly. All right. So I start feeling a bit better, but then over days, I would have digestion issues, right? So for example, I'll eat dinner and I would feel bloated and feel really discomfort and just going like, what's going on? Am I eating bad eggs? What's going on? So after a while, finally, like my girlfriend, she was like, hey, my parents have this gastro doctor that you can go check out. Maybe you do have an issue. So why don't you go check it out? I'm like, you know what? I'm really uncomfortable. I'm at a point that I'm going to go get this checked out. So I go to the doctor. The doctor's super calm. He's looking at me going like, okay, so what's wrong? I'm like, oh, doctor, I'm terrible. He's like, yeah, I know. Most of my patients are when they get here, right? So
he's like, people don't come here if they're feeling well,
exactly.
right?
Like, yeah, exactly. Right? And I'm trying to give him my history.
Everyone in the reception's just like holding their like, you're like, this is going to shock you, but I feel slightly unwell.
Yeah, the doctor's like, why would you come here then?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought we just want to hang out, right?
This was when we were playing golf.
Exactly, but turns out doctors actually do work.
Yeah.
So I go there and I talk to him, and this is the bizarre thing, right? And this is another thing I had, is that I was trying to cure myself. So I'm like researching online, and dude, the worst thing you can ever do is Google.
Oh my God,
issues.
WebMD?
Oh, WebMD will kill you.
You're like, you have an itch behind your ear? It's cancer, AIDS.
So I'm reading like colon cancer. I'm reading this, that, and I'm like, oh God, this is terrible.
That is a rookie move there.
Yeah, right? But I was like, no. So I was looking through ranges. Now, basically, there's a range of, you probably don't have enough like microbiome in your gut. The bacteria is imbalanced. So get some probiotics, you'll be fine. All the way to like, holy shit, they're going to cut your colon out. Right? And I was like, all right. You know what? I'm going to start with the lower points and see if I solve that. So I actually did for the first time in my life ever. And I'm a big yogurt guy, right? But I stopped eating yogurt because the funny thing is the night I had my quote-unquote period, I had a bowl of yogurt just before that. So I had this weird fear that I'm like, oh my God, yogurt's going to make me bleed. So I got these probiotic pills and I started taking them and they were making me worse. I was getting more gassy and everything. And I'm like,
I bet your girlfriend was loving that.
She was looking at me going like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. I told you like 2 weeks ago. Just
I'm
see
fine.
This guy. Yeah. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm sweating. It's just the heat. Right? So finally I go to the doctor. I tell him my whole history of all the things I've attempted to solve myself. And he's looking at me going
Is
like.
Is he just laughing?
He's looking at me going like, that's one of those guys. Oh, it's one of those guys.
Another WebMD specialist.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh God, do you have an email like at webmd.com as well? Are you like the administrator or something? And he's like listening to me out, talk everything. He's like, okay, no problem. You know what? Just take these pills, go home. So I tried those pills. They didn't really work. Then he's like, let's schedule a colonoscopy, right? And
they didn't work. You're like, now who's the expert?
Exactly. I'm like, all this stuff didn't work. So
all these degrees.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
have.
I'm like, I go to WebMD. I'm like, this guy's on WebMD. What the hell? This guy doesn't work. This guy's an asshole. So the long story short, if you've never done a colonoscopy, this is basically a very fun adventure. I highly recommend everyone once in their life try it out because it's such a cool thing to be able to tell people you've done before, and it's pretty harmless in many ways. So
I don't know if you're joking.
I know, I'm pretty serious. Like, I think like it's just something that you can be like, oh, I've done it before. Yeah, what about it?
What do they put a camera up your butt?
Exactly. And the craziest part of this whole thing is that when they put in the camera up your butt during the operation, you're awake, right? And there's a screen for the doctors to watch what's going on. And they purposely, or maybe, I don't know for what reason, they put it in front of your face. So you're doing like an Inception thing where you're seeing yourself inside, outside, right? And at the moment, I'm like, so this is what it feels like to be on cannabis. I get it. I'm like, all right, okay. I get it, mushrooms is how it works. I get it, And so he does all that stuff. And I remember doing that colonoscopy at the end of it when I have to pay, which let me tell everybody here, if you have a private doctor, for some reason, they don't have to tell you how much they cost until the end.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
At that moment, I was like scared. I'm like, oh man, I brought my checkbook. I brought my credit cards. I'm ready to go. I'm like, just please don't put me in debt. This took like 40 minutes. It can't be like, $40,000, right?
Look at his equipment and stuff.
I was like, well, it's just a camera. I have a GoPro. I could do that. So at the end, they charge me and all that. And then they add one more thing like, oh, by the way, that video of him going through your colon, you can buy the video. I was like, what?
We'll give you a discount if you let us put it on YouTube.
Yeah, if you buy it now, it's 300. If you come back next week, it's 500. I'm like, what? You want to try to upsell me my own inside?
They really said that.
He said, yeah,
that
they
is
have it there.
amazing.
And I was like, you can actually... I was like,
20% off your colon.
Yeah, you buy now, add this amount. I'm like, what? It's my info. This is copyright, right over here. This should be all mine, right? And so I'm thinking to myself, like, who the hell is buying this video? Although I really was tempted, though. Like, let's be honest. Everyone's kind of like, well, that'd be a cool video to show.
Bring your friends around, you know?
Yeah. Like, guys, I didn't borrow Nightmare on Elm Street, but trust me,
Yeah,
this is
my
a different
Netflix
street.
is down.
Yeah, but...
How do you feel about the adventures of Vivek?
Exactly. All right, so I did that. And then they found an ulcer and stuff like that inside my colon. And I was like, what do I have to do? Like, oh, nothing. You just have to wait it out. I'm like, okay. But I was not improving at all. Wasn't improving. Whatever it was, basically, it was trying to adjust my diet. Okay, so I was trying to eat better. But technically, there was nothing to eat better. I eat pretty damn good.
You don't eat badly. You're pretty healthy.
Yeah,
guy.
pretty healthy, right? So I'm like, what do I cut out now, right? Then again, WebMD comes on. Oh, it could be Crohn's disease. It could be this disease, celiac disease. Don't do gluten. Don't do this. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to eat rice. That's it. Just like mushy rice, right? So we're trying to eat super light, super simple. Finally, zooming all the way to, I think it was end of September, again, 28 days or some calendar, I get my period again. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is not good, dude. So finally, I caved and I'm like, let me go back to my good old government hospital where they treat emergencies like they're not emergencies, where everything takes 3 hours when it should take 1 minute. I go there. I put on my best acting show. I'm like... you know, I'm at the accident and emergency at the triage station. I'm like, all right, and scene. All right, I'm bleeding. I don't know, right?
I could see my mom.
Yeah, please help me. And so the guy takes some of my blood. He's like, you're anemic, and which is I find funny because they cut your little finger to get some blood out, and then to tell you don't have enough blood. I'm like, well, why did you take my blood, dude? Give it back. Right? Yeah. So my acting worked out. The lack of blood.
Wait, so they took it seriously?
Yeah. Dude, I was on. Dude,
I had a wound.
Yeah.
Which ended up needing 5 stitches.
Yeah.
What did they make me wait for 3.5 hours? I was bleeding.
Yeah, because you
I was actually bleeding.
But you had enough blood to bleed.
Yeah, they're like, you're not anemic, getting away.
Yeah, dude, look at me go like, this guy's gonna die in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Have you seen his finger?
Exactly. I'm like, and it was the right finger that he cut. You know, I was like, don't cut the middle finger.
Because obviously in the public hospital, I was like, this is a good thing to go to the public hospital for because I'm bleeding. They're going to do it quickly. They did not.
No. And when you're at the hospital, you'll kind of it'll give you a good sense of life and perspective.
You know what? It's so funny because I was so mad at how rude they were, and then I was also like, this guy's dealing with this.
Yeah.
Like I'm one pissed off person with this guy's whole time, like every day. He's helping people who hate him.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Everyone's like, and he's like, okay, I'd be smiling to this guy as well, you know.
And they were like insanely rude.
Yeah. Oh, straight up, like to them, you're just another annoyance. Basically, they're like the guys at that Australian milk company restaurant. Have you ever been to it? Where you are a nuisance by doing business with them.
I don't know about this.
Oh, okay. In Jordan, there's a place called Ota Aonai Gongsi, which is basically Australian milk company restaurant, right? Where Tim Chan has this really good bit where they're not Australian, they don't sell milk, and they're not a company.
It's good branding.
Yeah, right? But people line up outside, and there's only 2 things on the menu, right? So it's A or B.
Oh, it sounds like the soup Nazi.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like soup Nazi, right? So you go in. You should have already thought of what you're going to eat, right?
This is your perfect restaurant. No questions.
No questions. You know, the party loves this kind of idea, right? A or B, you sit down. And this is the funny thing. You sit down, the food comes immediately because they're constantly cooking A or B, right? Someone's going to order it. And then let's say you eat for more than 10 minutes. They send in the next pair of people who are going to sit on your table, to stand next to your table, to look over you while you're still eating the remaining part of it. So you're like, okay, pressure, finish this up, you know? Like, you know, let's say...
It's so un-Australian.
Exactly, right? It's so un-Australian, right? And I'm like, I don't know who thought of this, but probably, you know, letter A, you know, maybe we'll be the first in the listing with the alphabet. I don't know.
That's funny.
So coming back to the same with the hospitals, that's the same attitude. Like, going to them, they're like, why are you sick?
We walked over and my son was with me and he just screamed at my son for standing in the wrong spot. He's 3. He doesn't know where he's supposed to stand.
Exactly, yeah.
And I was just like, you don't need to yell at him.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell me and I'll manage it.
Yeah,
yell
at me. Let me kind of diffuse that anger and talk to him in a nice way. No, straight up, like I said, the fact that you're there, they're like, I could be doing nothing now, because you couldn't take care of your health. I got to deal with you now.
Yeah.
That's such a Hong Kong thing where like, I don't want to do your work for you.
Yeah.
Right? Can't you take care of
yourself up?
Yeah, stitch yourself up. You have needles. Have you never done arts and crafts? So what's wrong with you, right? So I'm at the hospital. They send me, oddly enough, to the surgery ward this time. And I'm in the surgery ward with like a bunch of 70-year-old guys for 4 days.
Are they the surgeons or other sick people?
So the other sick people. A bunch of surgeons were like hanging out in the room going like, hey, you want to cut this? So the sad thing was I went in on the 30th September and 1st of October was holiday. And it was a long weekend. And unless I was like dying, like I was on the floor with my limbs all over the place, the doctor was like, no, I'll wait till Monday when it's a holiday.
Yeah.
So for 4 days, I'm in the ward looking out the window going like, yeah, this is...
And were they in lockdown at that point?
No.
That was not locked down. So they must have opened up.
Oh, you mean visitors? No, the hospitals were locked. Like,
it was a full lockdown.
Yeah, full lockdown. Yeah, no visitors in the wards.
But also, I'm just like, the city wasn't operating.
Yeah, the city wants to operate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Luckily, I mean, the... whatever it was, basically, I was there for 4 days. And you know what the craziest thing is? Those 4 days were one of the best 4 days of like a mental retreat for myself. Because I had nothing to do. Like, I could only look at the wall.
Yeah, you worked too much.
Yeah. And so I just stopped and I was like, wow, I've never actually stared at a wall for an hour. And that like was a click moment in my life. I'm like, wait a second, I could do this more. I don't mind these wards. I'm going to come into A&E every 3 months trying to check in a little free retreat. I could do that. Anyway, so finally, the Monday comes in. The doctor comes in. Hey, we're going to take you down to the other ward, with the gastro ward, and, we'll move you in tonight. I'm like, okay. The surgery ward staff are like, hey, you're going to have to go there. I'm like, you guys seem really sad about this. They're like, yeah, because that ward compared to this ward sucks. So the surgery ward, 17th floor. It's the good one. You're looking at the skies. I'm at Queen Mary Hospital, right? So it's Park Fulham side. Beautiful skies. You get the sea view. You get the mountain view.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I was like, dude, this is worth getting sick for, right? So then they put me down to the 3rd floor, which is air conditioners. That's the view. You're seeing another building, air conditioners. I'm like, okay, I see what the guy was feeling bad about. Then, again, the doctor's like, we're going to look at you. We're going to look at that. Do another colonoscopy. This was the time when I could see the difference between private hospital or private clinic and public clinic. So private clinic, really simple. They tell you, okay, what are you going to do the night before the colonoscopy? You're going to clear your bowels with this liquid. It's very simple. Next morning, 11:30, we're going to do the surgery. we're going to do the operation. Good. Public hospital is, you're going to clear the bowels tonight. You're going to clear the bowels tonight. You're going to clear the bowels tomorrow. And then sometime during the day, we'll do the operation.
Ooh.
Right? And you don't get to eat throughout the whole thing. So
is it a general anesthetic?
It's just very lightly general anesthetic. Like you're still awake. No, you're awake.
Oh, that's not a general.
Local anesthetic. Yeah, sorry, yeah. So I'm still awake. So the problem is that the whole day you can't eat until they do the operation. Right? So you're just lying there going
you're
like...
already sick.
Yeah, right? You're not feeling good.
You're already anemic.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I need my blood, people, please.
Yeah.
Right? So they finally do it. It's all good. And the funniest thing is that the public hospital doctor were so good at it, I felt nothing. There was no pain, no nothing. And they were like, in, out. 10 minutes done. I'm like...
I mean, they're good doctors. You got to give it to them.
Yeah, they're very good. Like, in that sense, they're very efficient. Like, when they get to it, it's very fast. But they got to get to 100 other people before you, right? So then finally again, okay, so then they finally concluded it's Crohn's disease. So if anybody doesn't know, Crohn's disease is basically an autoimmune system issue where your body is attacking itself. So I've got my own immune system attacking my colon, you could say. All right? So that's what they thought was causing the ulcer. So they give me this steroid called Entocort, which basically presses your immune system down. And for 4 weeks, I have to take that.
Is this just an elaborate way for you to get on steroids?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I need to beef up.
You're like, it's not the curry, baby. It's the steroids.
Exactly. Exactly. I was like, this. Somehow I was like, do you know this guy that works in this company?
He's just at the window near the air conditioner, just winking like,
he's
hey,
like, I got you. I got you, buddy. Right? So I do that for 4 weeks. And what's bizarre is
that's a long
That's a long time for steroids, right? So the problem was that for those 4 weeks, I was getting worse and worse and worse and worse, like every day, like to the point. I mean,
so that must have been around the time you stopped doing the podcast.
Yes,
and I can say this now because you look great now.
Thank you.
But I remember the last one you did.
Yeah,
you were visibly
skinnier.
Like you lost so much weight.
Yeah.
Plus, we did the photos. For,
for SCMP, right?
I didn't tell you this. I did another shoot for SCMP. They made me do it in the street, standing in the front of a tram. I'm not even joking. I'm like, is this a prank?
No, we have the original idea.
So we're on the front of the Post magazine, standing like clowns, and you just lost so much weight.
I remember, because like I at one point my pants, my belts, nothing would fit, I was like, I've never had this happen.
I don't want to say because it's not a nice thing, but you looked immediately. I was like, oh man, he's not doing well.
Exactly right. I mean, the thing is that I've seen myself every day, and I was noticing the weight loss because you don't see it yourself.
Yeah,
right?
it's harder because
you're seeing
the changes are so incremental.
But it was so fast. I think I dropped 14 kilos in around 4 months.
And you're not a big fat dude.
Yeah, I'm not a big guy. Yeah, exactly. So that was like skinny on top of skinny. So then after 4 weeks, so you actually, with that time when we did the SCMP, so if anybody, go check out SCMP Post Magazine, the front cover for, I believe.
Yeah, it's me, Ben Quinlan, and then a stick figure.
Yeah, exactly. Stick man.
Stick man.
Yeah, a box of matchsticks. So that day was when I was probably at one of my worst moments because like that was after these steroids were done for 4 weeks, and I was on my 5th or 6th week of it because they were still trying to figure out like, okay, is this Crohn's disease or
and
whatever.
You weren't sure, right?
We weren't sure. They were pretty much concluding it was that, but they were like, this just doesn't make sense. And so then that's when the whole twist happened. So anyone who's a doctor over here would know that blood tests are the most important way to see the status of a person. So they keep taking your blood, right? So I was anemic, and I had to take iron tablets to kind of raise up my hemoglobin in my blood. But at the same time, every now and then I have to go back to the hospital to take my blood sample so you can see what's going on. So finally, one doctor at some point was like, let me check out how your immune system or B cells or whatever in your blood is. And they noticed that my B cells, which is one type of the immune cells, was at 0.
Wow.
So like I had like no immunity basically in that sense. So think of it as like you have tanks, you have planes, and you have, let's say, soldiers, right? I had no soldiers to fight this war that everybody fights on a daily basis. So they were like, oh, well, this is red flag. This is terrible. Come back in. What's going on? They got me back in, and then they were like, we got to immediately inject you with this thing called immunoglobulin, which is basically like, you could say like a externally infused immune cells, right? So I'm on IV drip, trying to get these back into me. It's kind of like as if I don't have enough blood in myself, right? So they got to infuse some blood back into my system. So during that time, they started testing.
How did it take him so long to notice that?
Because when they test blood, they don't test A to Z. They test, the few tests. Because it's fair enough. You're not going to test every single.
They're just checking what to test.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So finally, they were like, this doesn't make sense. Let's see what's going on over here. And they're like, wait a second. This is not right. This is at 0.
That's not the wallet inspector.
Exactly, right? This doesn't make sense to us. So then I'm back in the hospital now, and by now I'm like a veteran. I go in there, everyone knows my name. I'm like, yo, what's up, doctor? Hey, what's up, nurse? Right? We know the drill, everything. And then I'm back in the ward for another week for investigation. They're checking my stool samples. They're checking my urine samples. They were like, we want an early morning urine. They're like, basically what that means is when you wake up, the moment you wake up, you piss and you give us that. Like, oh, that makes a difference? Like, yeah, it does. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever you want. So for that week, this is where I was like, I'm going to make the best of the situation and try to enjoy this time at the hospital. And I was like, noticing that it's really bizarre dynamics that you have in the ward. So anyone who's been in a ward for a couple of days and eats hospital food will know.
You start to see how different, you start to see how it all works, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You're like, okay, this is crazy. This is, these guys are running around all the time. The funny thing though, as I find, is that every single day, the happiest and best moment of everyone's day is when the food comes in, right? Hospital food sucks. But when you're in a ward with nothing else to do, hospital food is awesome.
It's just something.
It's something, right? And then this is when we all began this whole gambling thing. We're like, all right, guys, who thinks it's fish today? All right, is it chicken? Who's got chicken? I got chicken over here.
That's the most you thing ever. You're like, all right, let's make this a game.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm sitting there talking to this guy. I'm like, I don't know, man.
Like, I got three pound fish.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll give you 1 to 2 for that one. And the funny thing is, I was actually analyzing. I'm like, okay, so we had fish yesterday for dinner. That means there's no way they're doing fish again for lunch.
You've got a chart going.
Yeah, I've got like the horse racing newspaper in the corner. But the funniest part of like being in a ward is that nurses clearly do it for their own joy of waking you up at 2 a.m. to take your blood pressure. Right? They come out blood pressure. I'm like, really? 2 a.m? You need to know how my blood pressure is, right? And they'll wake you up. And 5 a.m. is congee time, right? And they'll come in and slap that bowl of congee on your table.
Wait, they're giving you breakfast at 5 a.m.?
Yeah, dude. 5 a.m. is breakfast.
Mate, that is inhuman. Why?
Because dinner's at 5 p.m.
What?
Dude, it's the craziest,
What
right?
are they, 90 years old?
I guess maybe the policy is.
Is this how people are living?
Yeah.
Am I crazy? That's insane, right?
I know. Because I know from before that they're crazy with the dinner times, right? But I was like, okay, breakfast is at 5 a.m. If I don't eat this congee, I'm hungry till 12. So I'm eating this congee.
You got to take it.
I'm taking it. Now, I'm not exactly going to go down to buy anything because the food around there sucks, which is ironic because every store that sells food at a hospital is all fast food. It's all trash. And I'm like, this is a hospital. Shouldn't you have like vegetables or something? But no, it's all this, right? So 5 a.m. is kanji. We all know that's the standard thing. It's the lunchtime that 11. What happens is this guy pushes this big metal trolley or container that keeps the food warm in, and everyone's like, all right, guys, what's it going to be today?
Game time.
It's game time, right? And then every single day, I get kanji. And I'm like, no, I can eat normal food, guys. Look at my charts. I can eat normal food. Like, oh, okay, sorry. And what happens for me, because they did not allot me lunch other than kanji, I get whatever's left over. So I always used to get the soggy rice, the mushy,
the bottom of the kanji.
Yeah, the bottom of the
you got
kanji.
like the kanji residual.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, God, fine, whatever, right? And then so that was one thing as well. And then the funny part is that during the whole day, you'll have doctors randomly coming up to you to speak to you. So you have this thing where like if I'm going to go to the toilet, I go to the toilet for like fast because you don't want to miss the doctor when they're doing the rounds, right? So finally, I met this one doctor. Really nice guy was explaining to me about my situation. He was like, I'm very curious, like what you're going through right now doesn't make sense to us. Like it doesn't make sense why you suddenly have no immunity, right? So I'm going to look into this, look into that. They wanted a stool sample and stuff like that. And I mean, I've taken dumps my whole life. I've never had to scoop it and, put it into a little sample container thing. Yeah, right?
I mean, yeah, well, you know what? I have kids. I do it all the time.
Yeah. But like, this is the thing, like, so I had to give them samples and finally, they figured out one of the bacteria that I had inside me that has probably been causing all this damage. So highly likely it wasn't the Crohn's disease in my own immune system.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, it was probably an infection I've been having that has been destroying my immune system.
For how long do you think?
It could have been months without my realizing. I just probably was fighting it off the whole time.
Pretty good to find that, though. Like,
exactly,
to recover back to health.
Yeah, exactly, right. So that was the turning point. Exactly.
Because Crohn's would have been way worse, right?
Well, Crohn's would have been lifelong. Right?
Yeah.
With this one, it's a different lifelong. So now we're looking at another picture. So it's not Crohn's anymore, which basically means I can eat whatever I want. What they have found is that it might be that my body's immune system has become compromised. So like the factory is just shut down. So all of a sudden now my body cannot generate these cells. And so that means if that's the case, then for the rest of my life, every 4 weeks, I have to go sit for a half a day with an IV drip of replenishing my kind of cells.
How often do you have to
every
do this?
4 weeks. Yeah. So that's the worst case scenario, which to me, I'm like, I should not be an asshole. This is nothing. Like, this
it's going to drive you nuts, though.
Yeah, I know. In the long term, it will. But I was like, compared
can
to the guy
you set it up so you can get it at home?
So not really. In Hong Kong, they don't have the government subsidy for the one that you can take at home and just jab into your stomach. And apparently it's super expensive, apparently. So I'm like, okay, fine. But honestly, at this point, I'm like, they're still investigating. They're trying to figure out, because like, it doesn't make sense that the factory just suddenly shut down. You get it? Like, they're just like, why would it just suddenly shut down? You were fine before. This doesn't make sense at all.
Too much curry, hey?
Exactly. I'm telling you, man. Do not be turmeric. It might be anti-inflammatory, but sometimes you're not.
Doctor's like, do you eat much curry?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, do you have a brother who happens to do egg tarts? They're like, why, yes, sir. I'm like, interesting. We all
you mean Sam? Damn it.
Yeah. It all comes in full circle. Right. So I'm at a point where I'm feeling great, to the point that thanks to the hospital, I wake up at like 6 and 7 in the morning so I can have my kanji, the early morning kanji.
Now?
No, but I wake up early enough, right?
But your girlfriend's loving that.
Yeah, she's like, oh God, here we go. He's asleep at 9 at night, right? And that's changed my life. And also, honestly, if anyone's been like, known the way I worked before, I was like crazy.
Yeah, you're a workaholic.
Yeah, I'm a workaholic, right? So now I've kind of like rechanged my mind. I'm like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should, what is life about? All that kind of stuff. So that's the adjustment, really. And that's kind of what my 2021 has kind of been, my little so-called New Year's resolution, which is why I become ignorant is bliss for these last 2 days. And you were like, hey, a tour guide. I'm like, really?
Yeah, I just wonder, though, like, if consuming every bit of news is really informing yourself that much.
Yeah, I mean,
because at some point it's like, if you want to,
basically,
if you want to drink some water, just firing more water than you consume into your mouth, isn't really hydrating yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, it's overdoing it.
Like controlling how and what you're consuming is likely to be a better strategy for getting hydrated.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I'll put it this way: it's like.
Really ran with that analogy there. I just kept going with it.
No, I'll take it. I mean, what you're saying is exactly like me with trying to figure out my own health with WebMD, right? And I'm like, it could be A to Z. I'm like, you know what, dude? Just go simple, go to the doctor, let them figure it out, and they'll tell you what it is. Not like worry, it could be cancer, it could be this, it could be that. So I think in the same way, however,
especially if stress was an aspect to it.
I personally, like, this is the bizarre thing, right? Every time I've ever mentioned to any doctor, immunology, hematology, all these different departments that have been talking to me, I'm like, they're like, oh, so what happened? I'm like, oh, so in June, I was really stressed out. I had this big project, and immediately they would ignore stress. They're like, oh, okay, well, how was your diet? I'm like, are you guys, like, do you not want it to be stress? Because I'm sure a lot of doctors, like, if it's stress, they're like, damn it, we can't do anything about that.
Not to say that you shouldn't listen to the doctor, but they're not always that right as well. Like my cousin had some pretty serious gut problems.
Yeah.
And they were prescribed, or giving him, like, he was all this like cutting edge medicine of like fecal transfers and stuff that, and none of it worked.
Yeah.
And then he went and did an ayahuasca ceremony in South America. Problem solved.
Yeah. I think that pretty much is it. Honestly, if you ask me, which is why I pull back to what COVID, like, I did not realize that my stressful lifestyle was being balanced with, let's say, going to the gym, working out, running around for meetings. I was like stuck at home. So my running around to the meetings or having that fulfilling day was lacking. So I did not realize that my stress was being kind of neutralized with that stuff. So I think, yes, I personally really think the stress factor is there. I would say the fact that I'm feeling better than ever now is either the IV drip is really effective or I've just kind of changed my lifestyle. So that's helped out.
And you're off your phone more now. Right?
Way more. Yeah, like even now, before I would be like refreshing my emails and this and that. Like I want to be on top of the game. You message me, I'm on it. Now I'm like, you know what? You can wait. That can wait, right?
Tim Ferriss always talks about that, where he's like, you have this illusion in your mind that if you don't get back to them straight away, there's some consequences. He's like, you can be slow. Like, the real consequences you face are pretty limited, and the payoff is huge.
Exactly, yeah.
The freedom that you get from not being like stuck there, waiting for the next thing. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean,
I would say so. That's the problem. So what I've been finding out is that during my whole sickness, I was talking to other people, and the more people I meet, the more I realize they've also got these sorts of issues, and usually comes down to people who work for themselves and don't have like a fixed job.
Yeah, because you can't switch off, and there's this constant fear of failure, and
that
when do you feel like you've made it work, and then you back off, and I think it just very few people get to that. Or at that point.
I would say it's also that certain personality type. Like I was listening to the Tim Ferriss Jerry Seinfeld interview as well.
How amazing!
That was so good, right?
Oh, did I tell you? Did I send
that
to you?
I think so. Yeah.
I sent it to.
I was like the group or something. I was like because every now and then.
So Seinfeld was just on Tim Ferriss's podcast, and it is the best.
Do you know how good that was? I actually put it in my to-do list that every December I got to re-listen to it.
I was thinking it's like the only one of the podcasts I want to listen to again. Did I send you? There was another 3-minute clip of his with Ricky Gervais.
I think before I've seen it. Yeah, some of his stuff.
There were two things in that just like really resonated with me. One of them was describing. He's like, comedy's like gold. It's like people are like, you got to do this, you got to do that. He's like, the comedy's like gold. It's like when you find it, you know what it is. It's gold. It doesn't matter where it came from or what it was next to or what it's connected with. It's like you take it out, it's gold.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'd been trying to pin a similar idea for so long, more about like people being like, people say I don't like dirty comedy. It's like you just haven't listened to dirty comedy and you found it funny.
Exactly,
because when you find something funny, you stop trying to label it and you just enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it was when it's not working, you're like, it's a bit dirty,
Yeah, because I remember like basically what he was talking about, the idea is that so this is what I've learned as well, is that when you go past the whole labeling is when you reach that point of like, I don't see it as it's this or this or this category. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I think that's the journey of the whole game. For example, it's like any jazz musician will know you're not thinking of the C# scale or D scale. You're just playing music. But to get through that, you have to know C#, D, A, B, all that stuff.
To get to that sound, that lick that works.
That basically that point.
You just know it works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I would say same with comedy. Like we're at the point that we've done it enough where we're like we could see this is funny, but anyone else who's on the journey needs to kind of know, this is kind of known as dirty comedy, this is clean comedy. So knowing the
I'm not saying there's no place for being aware of that stuff.
But I think ultimately, like what Ricky Gervais said, and I agreed as well, is that the whole goal concept is basically, it's simple. Stop over-analyzing, over-complicating, saying, this type of comedy, this is the genre I like, I'm like, no. Did you laugh? You did?
Just enjoy it.
Exactly,
The other one I loved was when he was talking about whether you can say things or not say certain things. He's like, it's like slalom skiing. It's like you have to make the gates. That's it.
Yeah.
You got to make the gates. The gates move, you make the gates.
Yeah. So I remember because I listened to that. That was a while back though. That interview with
yeah, that one wasn't.
That's why I'm like I remember it, but I don't remember the details. Like whenever you tell me, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember now. That ring a bell. Where I was like, he said that, and it kind of struck me in that sense.
Yeah, because it's people saying like, I can't say this, can't say that. It's like, no, you make the gates.
Yeah,
you say you figure out what it is that you can say, and that's doing it.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing with the Jerry Seinfeld interview, because it was so recent, I have it so fresh in my mind, is that he was saying that if you're on stage making people laugh, then go for it. That's all it matters to me. Like I don't care.
He loves you or whatever. Yeah.
He loves you. Like whether you're doing it dirty or clean.
Like if you're up there.
Yeah, if you're up there.
I love you.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, that's so true. At the end of the day, you shouldn't be saying, oh, well, that's a cheap trick. That's a cheap joke. I'm like, yeah, the quality can be up and down, but it's kind of like they're still laughing. However, it's what I was doing a lot of self-reflection is that the reason I would judge is because I want to be of a certain level. You get a certain quality, not just like, oh, this cheap joke, this is an easy joke. I'm like, that's too easy to satisfy me, right? So with the Jerry Seinfeld thing, his whole thing about the discipline, the whole when you're writing, you treat yourself. So I highly recommend everyone, after you subscribe to ours and given our Patreon, then consider helping out one of the richest comedians in the world.
Go help Seinfeld.
Yeah, because he needs another sale in his book.
Yeah,
Tim Ferriss needs another hour to work with every week. So yeah, consider checking it out. But I would say, this is what you're looking into our podcast. We are helping you look at all this great information and kind of assimilating it and giving it to you in this one bite size of an hour a week podcast. And if you do the Patreon as well, you get an extra 15 minutes of our wisdom.
I've missed your marketing prowess. Dude, I'm so happy to have you back. I'm so happy to see how well you are now. It's great.
Thank you, man.
It's scary to see a friend go through something like that.
Yeah.
And I just, my wife was very sick a few years ago, and she got back to a great place, and just getting back to a great place.
Oh, big deal, man.
Yeah.
Big deal. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, the happiest moments was the days when I wake up, I'm like, I'm feeling good. You would appreciate that moment going like, you know what? I'm just so glad that I'm feeling good. Like this is the bizarre thing every day. I wake up, I'm like, I'm just happy to feel good.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, man.
Good to have you back.